The gold-embossed wedding invite from my sister who stole my fiancé felt like a slap, its inked words burning my fingers. I'm Paige Williams, 29, a Chicago marketing exec staring at Betrayal in elegant script. A diamond ring once mine glints on the table whispering broken promises. Her audacity to invite me sparked a fire, not loud but fierce. Could I face her and Cameron head high with a surprise she'd never expect? Silent revenge stories seniors know well. This one's mine. Share your own quiet betrayal tales below, and let's unravel this family drama together. The fireplace spits embers, their glow dancing across Eldrick Vaughn's weathered face. He's 58, but the lines around his eyes make him look older, carved by years of solitude in this Bozeman, Montana house. The living room is a shrine to routine: a worn armchair, a stack of gardening books, a photo frame on the mantel, capturing him and Sigrid, his daughter, when she was 5. Her gap-toothed grin mocks the silence. Outside, golden leaves tumble in the chilly Thanksgiving morning breeze, scratching against the window like whispers. Wind chimes etched with Sigrid's name from a long-ago harvest fair jingle, faintly their sound a ghost of promises unkept. Eldrick's calloused fingers trace the edge of a cream-colored envelope on the coffee table. The gold lettering glints: Sigrid Vaughn and Daniel Pierce, joined in marriage Thanksgiving 2025. Lyora's name, his ex-wife, sits below a signature like a blade. His hands tremble, not from the cold seeping through the cracked window, but from the weight of what's inside. "She doesn't need me," he mutters, voice rough as gravel. The words hang in the air, unanswered as the fire pops. He tears the envelope open, the paper's crisp edge slicing his thumb. A bead of blood wells up, but he doesn't notice. The invitation is elegant, heavy stock with a pressed flower design. Sigrid's touch he knows. His chest tightens. Together with their families. "Request your presence." The words blur. He hasn't seen Sigrid in years, not since she stopped calling, stopped waiting for him to show up. He was always working, always promising next time. Now she's getting married, and Lyora's the one sending the invite. Not Sigrid. Why? Sigrid's voice echoes in his mind. Not from the invitation, but from a letter she never sent, one he imagined she wrote in anger and tucked away. "I want Dad here, but I'm scared he'll hurt me again." It's a voice that's haunted him since he found her old drawings in a drawer, scribbled with Daddy and me in crayon. He shakes his head, trying to silence it, and reaches for his smartphone. The screen's too bright, the interface a maze. He fumbles, cursing under his breath, until a video loads: Sigrid, maybe 8, in a school play, twirling in a paper crown. Her giggle fills the room, sharp as a knife. He pauses, her frozen smile burning his eyes. "She doesn't need me," he repeats. But it's weaker now, a plea more than a fact. His gaze falls to the plane ticket tucked inside the invitation. Bozeman to the ranch where the wedding's happening today. Lyora's handwriting on a note. "Don't let her down again." His fingers tighten around the ticket, crinkling it. The wind chimes jingle louder, a sound that once meant Sigrid running to him, arms wide. Now it's just the wind, cold and indifferent. Eldrick stands the chair creaking under him. He walks to the mantel, touching the photo frame. Sigrid's eyes, even at 5, held a spark he never understood. Too late now, he whispers the question, swallowed by the fire's hiss. The ticket in his hand feels heavier than it should, a lifeline or a noose. He doesn't know which. Will I even make it to her wedding? The Montana sun bleeds red across the horizon, painting the golden fields in fire. Eldrick Vaughn, 58, trudges through the grass, his boots crunching leaves that scatter like forgotten promises. The air bites sharp with pine and damp earth, but he barely feels it. His hands, rough from years of gardening, shoved deep into his jacket pockets. Behind him, his Bozeman house stands quiet, a wooden relic of a life pared down to survival. Inside, a turkey roasts its scent wafting through an open window, a Thanksgiving ritual for one. Eldrick's life is a rhythm of small acts: tending tomato plants, reading dog-eared novels for the local book club, dodging Zoom calls from old friends who ask too many questions. He's built a fragile stability, a wall against the ache of Sigrid's absence. The wedding invitation, still on his coffee table, threatens to crack it. "She doesn't want me there," he tells himself, the words a mantra to keep the pain at bay. But Sigrid's voice, imagined from that unsent letter, whispers back, What if she does? A truck rumbles up the dirt path. Kicking up dust, Thane Carver, 60, steps out. His flannel shirt dusted with hay from his ranch. He carries a pumpkin pie, its cinnamon warmth cutting through the chill. Happy Thanksgiving, Old Man Thane calls his grin wide but knowing. Eldrick nods, forcing a smile. Didn't expect you. Thane sets the pie on the porch table next to a carved pumpkin from Bozeman's Harvest Fair. Fair's the heart of this town, Thane says, eyes glinting. Families come together, swap stories, eat pie, reminds you what matters. Eldrick shifts uneasy. Thane's fishing and he knows it. Spit it out, Thane. Thane pulls Sigrid's photo from his pocket, a faded shot of her at 5 clinging to Eldrick's leg. Saw this at your place last week. She still needs her dad. He sets it on the table, the frame catching the sunset's glow. Eldrick's throat tightens. She doesn't want me there, he mutters, turning away. The words feel flimsy now, a shield wearing thin. Thane leans in, voice low. You didn't see her face when she talked about you at the fair last year. She's waiting, Eldrick, whether she says it or not. Eldrick's eyes flick to the photo. Sigrid's smile, a mirror of the girl who'd beg for piggyback rides. He wants to believe Thane, but fear claws at him, fear of showing up, of seeing her turn away. The turkey's aroma fades, replaced by the pie's spice, a reminder of Thanksgivings when Sigrid's laughter filled the house. You going to that wedding or not? Thane asks, picking up the pie tin. Eldrick stares at the fields, the sun sinking fast. Sigrid's voice echoes. What if I'm still waiting? Can Thane's words pull me out of this? Bedroom is a cocoon of shadows lit only by a flickering lamp on Eldrick Vaughn's nightstand. It's Thanksgiving evening, 2025. And the Bozeman house creaks under the weight of Montana's chill. Eldrick, 58, kneels by an old cedar chest, its lid groaning as he lifts it. Dust swirls, catching the light like ghosts. Inside, keepsakes whisper of a life he's tried to bury: a faded Father's Day card, Sigrid's tiny handprint in clay, and a folded letter, its edges yellowed. The air holds the faint scent of roasted turkey from the kitchen, a reminder of the solitary meal he picked at earlier. Outside, wind chimes engraved with Sigrid's name from a Bozeman fair jingle their notes sharp in the dusk. Eldrick's fingers, rough from years of gardening, unfold the letter. His handwriting, bold from a decade ago, stares back Sigrid. I promise we'll go camping, just you and me under the stars. His breath catches the words a knife. He'd meant it then, but work always won meetings, deadlines, excuses. A memory surges, vivid and cruel. Sigrid, 10, stands in the yard, her backpack stuffed with marshmallows, eyes scanning the road. The wind chimes jingle hopeful, but Eldrick's car never comes. He was in a conference room signing contracts thinking, she'll be fine. Her small face crumpling as dusk fell. Burns now, a wound he can't close. She waited all night. Sigrid's voice murmurs in his mind, a narration from a letter he imagined she wrote but never sent. Eldrick's hands tremble, the paper crinkling. I'm sorry, kid, he whispers, voice hoarse. The lamp flickers, casting his shadow long and lonely. He's built a life avoiding these memories. Gardening book club, no. Zoom calls to face old friends' pity. But Thane's words from this morning. She still needs her dad. Gnaw at him, and that wedding invitation on the coffee table downstairs feels like a ticking clock. His smartphone buzzes, a 2025 app's sleek interface glowing. Eldrick squints, fumbling with the touchscreen, cursing its complexity. Leora's name appears, his ex-wife's voice slicing through Eldrick. It's me! Sigrid's wedding is today. Don't let her down again. Her tone is ice, each word a jab. Eldrick grips the phone, knuckles white. Why'd you send it, Leora? She didn't ask for me. Silence then. Show up or don't, but don't make her wait forever. The call ends, leaving the chimes jingle to fill the void. Eldrick stares at the letter, Sigrid's imagined voice echoing, I waited, Dad, but you never came. The plane ticket downstairs tucked in the invitation calls to him. His heart races, fear of Sigrid's rejection, battles a spark of hope. The chimes jingle again, louder, like her voice urging him to move. Will I answer Leora's challenge? The Montana fields stretch endless under a fading Thanksgiving sun. golden grass swaying like a restless sea. Eldrick Vaughn, 58, grips the plane ticket in his jacket pocket, its edges worn from his nervous fingers. Thane Carver's truck rattles along the dirt road, kicking up dust that glints in the afternoon light. Ahead, a wedding tent glows warm against the Bozeman Ranch, its canvas flaps fluttering. Red ivy snakes up the wooden house nearby, trembling in the wind's bite. The air smells of pine and roasted meat. A Thanksgiving promise that feels out of reach for Eldrick. Thane 60 glances over his flannel shirt, dusted with hay. "You're here now, Eldrick. Don't let Sigrid down." His voice is steady, but his eyes carry the weight of their earlier talk. Eldrick's throat tightens. "She doesn't want me here," he mutters, staring at the tent. Sigrid's imagined voice from that unsent letter cuts through. "Why now, Dad, after all these years?" He wants to turn back to his quiet house, his gardening, his book club, safe from rejection. But the ticket burns in his pocket. Leora's words echoing. "Don't let her down again." They park the truck's engine, ticking as it cools. Eldrick hesitates, boots rooted to the ground. Guests in hand-knit Montana sweaters spill from the tent, their laughter mingling with the scent of turkey and mashed potatoes from a towering buffet. Thane nudges him. "Come on, old man." Eldrick follows each step heavier, the wind whistling like a warning. Inside the tent is a cocoon of golden light paper lanterns swaying. A turkey centerpiece gleams surrounded by cranberry sauce and pumpkin pie. Leora Tate, 55, spots them, her sleek bob and sharp eyes unchanged. "Didn't think you'd show," she says, voice cold as the November air. Eldrick stiffens, hand tightening on the ticket. "Leora," he manages, but she's already turning away, her heels clicking. Then Sigrid appears a vision in a simple white dress, her blonde hair pinned with wildflowers. Her eyes, those same eyes, from the photo on his mantel lock onto Eldrick. The tent's warmth vanishes. "Why are you here?" she snaps, voice, low but sharp, cutting through the chatter. Sigrid's narration echoes in his mind. Why now, after all these years? Eldrick opens his mouth, but words fail. Her gaze is a wall built from years of waiting school plays, camping trips, promises he broke for work. Thane shifts beside him, silent but steady. Leora watches, arms crossed. Eldrick's heart pounds the ticket, a lifeline he can't grasp. He's here, but for what? To be turned away. What will Sigrid say next? The wedding tent hums with life, its golden lights casting a soft glow over the Bozeman Ranch. It's Thanksgiving afternoon, 2025, and the air inside is thick with the scent of pumpkin pie and orchids, a warm contrast to Montana's biting chill outside. Hand-knit sweaters. Bozeman's pride dot the crowd, their earthy tones blending with the rustic charm of paper lanterns and wildflower centerpieces. A 2025 smart TV flickers in the corner, showing a football game. The crowd's cheers rising with each play. Sigrid, radiant in her simple white dress, weaves through guests, her fingers tapping a wedding app on her phone, its pings sharp against the violin's hum. Eldrick Vaughn, 58, hovers near the buffet, a stranger in this sea of joy. The turkey centerpiece looms its golden skin, mocking his isolation. He shifts boots, scuffing the wooden floor, still reeling from Sigrid's sharp. "Why are you here?" Her words echo, twined with her imagined voice from that unsent letter. Does he remember, or was it another empty promise? Eldrick's hands fidget the plane ticket in his pocket, a heavy reminder of his gamble to come. He's out of place, a man of gardening and book clubs, not apps and celebrations. Thane Carver, 60, appears beside him, his flannel shirt carrying the faint scent of hay. "Over here," Thane says, guiding Eldrick to a wall where a faded photo hangs. Sigrid 5 hugging Eldrick's leg, both grinning under a Montana sky. "She kept this," Thane says, voice low, eyes steady. Eldrick's breath catches fingers brushing the frame. "She hasn't forgotten me," he whispers, hope flickering like the tent's lanterns. The photo's warmth clashes with the memory of Sigrid's cold stare. Before he can speak, Sigrid's shadow falls over them. She stands close, her app silent now, a woven bracelet dangling from her wrist, tiny beads glinting, a relic from her childhood. "Remember this bracelet I wore as a kid?" she asks, voice firm, but edged with something softer. Eldrick's mind races. A flash Sigrid ate, weaving it at a harvest fair, tying it on his wrist, saying, "For you, Daddy?" He'd lost it, left it behind like so many promises. "I meant to come," he stammers, voice cracking. Sigrid's eyes narrow, searching. Her narration cuts through. Does he remember, or is it another empty promise? The football game roars, but the tent feels silent. "Stay," she says finally, "but don't expect miracles." She turns away, her dress catching the light. Eldrick's heart lifts a fragile hope taking root, but her warning lingers sharp as the wind outside. Will she ever give me a real chance? Moonlight spills over the Bozeman Ranch, silvering the golden fields that stretch beyond the wedding tent's warm glow. It's late Thanksgiving night, 2025, and the Montana air bites heavy with pine and the smoky tang of firewood from a hearth near the wooden house. Eldrick Vaughn, 58, stands alone by an old oak, its wind chimes, etched with Sigrid's name from a harvest fair, jingling softly, each note a reminder of her childhood. Golden leaves fall slow and silent, catching the moon's pale light. The tent's laughter has faded, leaving only the hum of crickets, and his own uneven breaths. Eldrick's hand is in his pocket, fingers tracing the crumpled letter he wrote Sigrid years ago, promising a camping trip he never took her on. Sigrid's bracelet question in the tent, "Remember this," still stings her reluctant. Stay a fragile thread of hope, but her imagined voice from that unsent letter haunts him. "Mom wants me to forget Dad, but I can't." He leans against the tree, the bark rough under his palm, wondering if he's a fool to think she'll ever forgive him. The chimes jingle a sound that once meant Sigrid running to him, now just a ghost of what was. Footsteps crunch behind him. Lyora Tate, 55, emerges from the tent's shadow, her sleek bob catching the moonlight eyes, sharp as ever. "Eldrick," she says, voice like frost. "I didn't think you'd stay this long." He stiffens, hand tightening on the letter. "You sent the invite, Lyora." "Why?" She steps closer, heels sinking into the earth. "I invited you so Sigrid could close the door on you, not reconcile. She needs to move on, not drag your failures into her future." Eldrick's chest burns the words a gut punch. "You want her to hate me?" He snaps, voice raw. The chimes jingle louder, stirred by a gust echoing his rising anger. Leora's gaze doesn't waver. "She deserves peace, not your excuses." He shakes his head, the letter's weight unbearable. "You're wrong. She kept my photo, my letter. She's not done with me, but doubt gnaws. Maybe Leora's right, and he's chasing a lost cause." A shadow moves near the tent. Sigrid steps into the moonlight, her white dress, ghostly eyes wide with shock. She's heard it all. Her voice, soft but piercing in his mind, narrates, "Mom wants me to forget Dad, but I can't." She faces Leora, fists clenched. "You don't decide for me," she says, voice steady but trembling. Leora falters, lips parting, but says nothing. Sigrid's gaze flicks to Eldrick, a storm of anger and something softer longing swirling there. The chimes fall silent. Eldrick's heart races, caught between Lyora's truth and Sigrid's defiance. Is there still a chance? Who will Sigrid confront now? The wedding tent pulses with warmth, its yellow lights casting a golden haze over the Bozeman Ranch. It's Thanksgiving evening, 2025, and the air hums with the scent of pumpkin pie and orchids, a sweet veil over the Montana chill outside. Guests in hand-knit sweaters woven at Bozeman's harvest fair swap stories of the season's yields, wheat, barley, hope. A turkey centerpiece, half-carved, gleams on the buffet, surrounded by cranberry sauce and mashed potatoes. A 2025 smart TV murmurs football scores, but Eldrick Vaughn, 58, barely hears it. He sits alone at a corner table, his calloused hands clasped, watching Sigrid laugh with her groom across the room. Her joy is a world he doesn't belong to. Eldrick's gray jacket feels too tight, his presence a mistake. Leora's words, "I invited you so Sigrid could close the door," echo sharp as the wind chimes outside. Sigrid's bracelet, woven with childhood beads, had stirred hope, but her warning, "Don't expect miracles," cut deeper. Her imagined voice from that unsent letter narrates his thoughts. "I'm angry, but I still want him here. He's a stranger here, a man of gardening and book clubs, not this vibrant celebration. The photo Thane showed Sigrid hugging him as a child feels like a lie. Then Sigrid's shadow falls over him. She stands close, her white dress catching the light wildflowers pinned in her hair. Her eyes, those same eyes from his mantle photo, burn with something raw. "Do you know how many times I waited for you?" she asks, voice trembling low enough to keep the guests' chatter at bay. Eldrick freezes a memory crashing in Sigrid 10 in a paper crown, waiting in their yard for her school play. Wind chimes jingled hopeful, but Eldrick was in a boardroom signing papers thinking, she'll be fine. Her small face dimming as the curtain rose without him haunts him now. "I was a terrible father," he mutters, voice cracking, eyes dropping to the table. The words spill heavy with years of regret. Sigrid's breath hitches, her hands clenching. "You missed everything," she says, softer now, almost breaking. The tense warmth fades the pie's sweetness, turning bitter. A guest laughs oblivious, but Eldrick feels the weight of every promise he broke. Camping trips, bedtime stories, her graduation. Sigrid's narration cuts through. "I'm angry, but I want him here." She leans closer, voice barely a whisper. "I kept your letter." The words land like a spark, igniting hope and dread. Eldrick's eyes lift, meeting hers, but she's already turning her dress, brushing the floor as she walks away. The letter. His promise of camping, crumpled in his pocket, feels alive, a bridge or a burden. The chimes outside jingle faintly, calling him to chase her, but his feet stay rooted, guilt anchoring him. What does that letter mean to her? The Montana night wraps the Bozeman Ranch in a silver shroud, moonlight glinting off golden fields. It's late Thanksgiving, 2025, and Eldrick Vaughn, 58, stands beneath an old oak, its wind chimes engraved with Sigrid's name, jingling faintly, a fragile song against the silence. Leaves fall slow and golden, catching the moon's glow, like fading memories. The wedding tent's warm light spills faintly behind him, its music a distant murmur drowned by the scent of firewood from a nearby hearth and the sharp tang of pine. Eldrick's breath clouds in the cold, his gray jacket no match for the chill or the weight of Sigrid's words. "I kept your letter." His fingers, rough from gardening, pull the crumpled letter from his pocket, its edges worn thin. His handwriting, bold from years ago, promises Sigrid, "We'll go camping, just you and me under the stars." The words twist in his gut, a vow he broke for a work meeting, a choice he justified then, but regrets now. A memory floods in young Eldrick in a crisp suit, glancing at his watch in a glass-walled office. Sigrid 8 waited in their yard, her backpack stuffed with a flashlight, and Marshmallow's wind chimes jingling. He'd thought, she'll understand, and stayed late signing contracts. Her small figure alone in the dusk haunts him now. Sigrid's voice from that imagined, unsent letter narrates, "I waited all night, Dad." Eldrick's throat burns, the letter trembling in his hands. He's buried these memories under book club debates and tomato plants, but Sigrid's bracelet, her photo, her "I kept your letter," ripped them free. He leans against the oak bark, biting his palm, whispering, "I thought you didn't need me." Footsteps crunch. Thane Carver, 60, steps into the moonlight flannel shirt dusted with hay. "You're still here," he says, voice soft but heavy. "She kept that letter, Eldrick. It's all she had of you." Eldrick's eyes widen, the letter suddenly alive. Why, Thane sighs, gazing at the stars. "I lost my son's trust, stopped calling after fights. Regrets a cold bed. Don't make my mistake." His words mirror Eldrick's pain, a warning and a plea. The chimes jingle sharp in the quiet. Eldrick folds the letter, resolve hardening, despite the fear clawing at him. Sigrid's voice lingers. "I waited." He has to face her no matter the cost. What else does Thane know about her letter? The Montana night is a cold fist clamping around the Bozeman Ranch. It's late Thanksgiving 2025, and Eldrick Vaughn, 58, stands under a flickering street lamp, its weak glow battling the darkness. Thane Carver, 60, faces him. Flannel shirt catching the light breath clouding in the pine-sharp air. Golden leaves drift from nearby trees, twirling like lost promises in the lamp's dim halo. The wedding tent's music, once vibrant, is now a faint hum swallowed by the ranch's quiet. The scent of firewood lingers, a ghost of the evening's warmth. But Eldrick feels only the chill of Sigrid's words, "I kept your letter." Eldric's hand grips the letter in his pocket, its promise of a camping trip, a weight he can't shake. Thane's revelation that Sigrid kept it as her only piece of him stirs hope. But Leora's earlier confession, "I invited you to close the door," fuels dread. Sigrid's imagined voice from her unsent letter narrates, "Did Dad choose work because of him, or did I push him away?" Eldric's eyes bore into Thane, searching for answers. "You said she kept it." He says, voice rough. "What else do you know?" Thane shifts his boots, scuffing the dirt. "Eldric, I gotta tell you something." His voice drops heavy with guilt. "Back then, I told you to leave your family. Said work mattered more, that Sigrid and Leora would be fine." Eldric's chest tightens, a storm rising. "You made me think it was right," he snaps, voice cracking like the ice underfoot. "I left them because you said it was the only way." His hands clench the letter, crinkling. But a thought stabs him. Thane was wrong, but I chose to leave. The realization burns raw and unrelenting. Thane lowers his head, eyes shadowed. "I was wrong, Eldric. I lost my son because of it." The words hang a mirror to Eldric's regret. The street lamp flickers, casting jagged shadows. Eldric wants to rage, to blame Thane for every missed school play, every camping trip he never took Sigrid on. But his own choices, meetings over bedtime stories, contracts over her smile, loom larger. A rustle breaks the silence. Sigrid steps from the tense shadow, her white dress ghostly under the moon. Her eyes, wide with pain, flick between them. "You chose work because of him?" she asks, voice low but sharp, cutting through the night. Sigrid's narration echoes. "Did I push Dad away?" Eldric freezes her question a blade. Thane steps back, silent, his guilt laid bare. The wind howls, leaves swirling, and Eldric's heart races. Blame Thane or face himself? Who will Sigrid confront now? The wedding tent's golden lights flicker, casting long shadows across the Bozeman Ranch. It's Thanksgiving night, 2025, and the air inside is thick with the scent of orchids and firewood, a warm haze that can't touch the chill in Eldric Vaughn's bones. The reception is winding down, guests in hand-knit Montana sweaters swaying to a slow violin tune. A 2025 wedding app pings on Sigrid's phone, its alerts sharp, counting down the final moments. Eldric, 58, stands by the buffet, the half-carved turkey centerpiece mocking his isolation. His hand grips the letter in his pocket, its promise of a camping trip, a weight he's carried all night. Sigrid's question, "You chose work because of Thane," burns her voice from that unsent letter narrating, "I need to know if he meant it." Thane's confession outside, "I told you to leave," shifted some blame, but Eldric's guilt remains. He's a man of book clubs and gardening, not this vibrant world of apps and dances. The bracelet, the photo, her "I kept your letter," they've cracked his defenses, but Leora's close. The door lingers, a threat to his fragile hope. Sigrid steps close, her white dress glowing, wildflowers in her hair, wilting slightly. "Did you choose work over me because of Thane?" she asks, voice steady, but eyes stormy. Eldric's throat tightens, the tense warmth fading. "I was wrong, Sigrid," he says, voice raw. "I thought work was everything, but I didn't see how much you needed me." He pulls the letter from his pocket, its edges worn. "I wrote this because I loved you, but I failed you." He hands it to her fingers, brushing hers, a spark of connection, or a final goodbye. Before Sigrid can respond, Leora, 55, sweeps in her sleek bob, catching the light. "Sigrid," she says, voice breaking, "I pushed him here to protect you. I thought he'd hurt you again. I was wrong." She hugs Sigrid tightly, whispering, "I lost your dad. I can't lose you." Sigrid stiffens, pulling back. "I needed to decide for myself," she says, voice firm but trembling. The app pings again, a countdown to the night's end. Guests glance over, sensing the tension, their sweaters a patchwork of Montana's heart. Sigrid holds the letter, eyes locked on Eldric. "I'll read this to everyone," she declares, voice rising. "Are you ready, Dad?" Eldric's heart lurches, fear, hope, shame colliding. The violin slows the tent, holding its breath. Sigrid's narration echoes. "I need to know if he meant it." He nods barely as she turns toward the stage, the letter a beacon in her hand. What will she reveal to them all? The wedding tent holds its breath, spotlights pinning Sigrid Vaughn to a small stage at the heart of the Bozeman Ranch. It's Thanksgiving night, 2025, and the golden lights dim, casting a halo around her white dress, wildflowers drooping in her hair. The air is thick with orchids and firewood, a fading warmth as the reception nears its end. Guests in hand-knit Montana sweaters stand silent, their eyes fixed on Sigrid, the 2025 wedding app on her phone, now quiet. Outside, through open tent flaps, golden leaves fall under moonlight, a slow dance in the November chill. Eldrick Van 58 stands below Hart, hammering his letter in Sigrid's hands, a ticking bomb. Sigrid's voice steady but laced with pain begins Sigrid. I promised to take you camping to see the stars. She pauses, fingers trembling on the worn paper. Her narration from that imagined, unsent letter whispers in Eldrick's mind. He loved me despite everything. The words cut deep, dragging him back to that promise, a camping trip he skipped for a meeting, thinking, she'll be fine. Sigrid's voice breaks. I waited, but you never came. The tent is a vacuum, the guest's sweater's a patchwork of Montana's quiet strength. Eldrick's chest burns regret, a living thing. He'd told himself Sigrid didn't need him a lie to dodge the guilt of missed school plays, graduations, her life. The realization crashes. I isolated myself. He'd built walls, gardening book clubs, no Zoom calls to avoid facing his failures. Sigrid's eyes meet his raw and searching. Eldrick steps forward, boots heavy on the wooden floor. I was wrong, Sigrid, he says, voice cracking loud enough for the crowd. I told myself you didn't need me to hide from what I did. I isolated myself. The words spill raw, his hands shaking. A neighbor, gray-haired in a Bozeman sweater, pats his shoulder. Good job, buddy. The gesture grounds him, a thread of community he'd forgotten. Sigrid's breath catches tears glinting under the spotlights. I don't need a perfect dad, she says. Voice soft but clear. Just you here. Her narration echoes. He loved me. The tent exhales, guests clapping softly, a ripple of Montana warmth. Eldrick's eyes blur hope surging, but her words hang delicate, a bridge not yet crossed. The leaves outside fall faster, catching the moon's glow, a reminder of time slipping away. How will we heal from here? The wedding tent's golden lights soften, wrapping the Bozeman Ranch in a tender glow. It's late Thanksgiving night, 2025, and the dance floor hums under the slow wail of a violin. The air carries firewood's smoky warmth from a hearth near the wooden house, blending with pine's sharp tang. Through open flaps, golden leaves drift under Montana's starry sky, a quiet farewell to the day. Guests in hand-knit Bozeman sweaters sway their murmurs blending with the music, the 2025 wedding app, now silent as the reception fades. Eldrick Vaughn, 58, stands at the edge, his gray jacket rumpled heart still racing from Sigrid's words on the stage. I don't need a perfect dad, just you here. Sigrid's letter read aloud had torn him open, its promise of camping a mirror to his failures. Her forgiveness, fragile but real, lingers, but Eldrick's fear of not being enough clings tight. Her voice from that imagined unsent letter narrates, This Thanksgiving I got my dad back. He's a man of book clubs and gardening out of place among these dancers, yet here he stands, pulled by her grace. The neighbor's pat good job buddy echoes a Montana warmth he'd forgotten. Sigrid steps forward, her white dress catching the light wildflowers in her hair, nearly gone. She takes Eldrick's hand, her touch firm but gentle. Dance with me, she says, eyes glistening, voice shaky with unspoken weight. Eldrick hesitates, boots scuffing, but follows her to the floor, the violin's notes wrapping around them. As they sway, she leans close. I invited Thane, not Mom, she confesses, voice barely above a whisper. I knew you'd need him to come. Eldrick's breath catches the revelation a spark. Thane, watching from the sidelines, smiles his flannel shirt, a quiet mirror of Eldrick's own redemption, two men haunted by lost time, one now healing. Thank you, Eldrick, whispers voice thick, his hand trembling in hers. Sigrid's eyes, those same eyes from his mantle photo, soften. You're enough, Dad, she says, her voice breaking a gift that shatters his fear of inadequacy. The dance, a father-daughter waltz, feels like a memory reborn. Sigrid at 5 giggling as he spun her in their yard, wind chimes jingling. A neighbor nods, sweater glowing under the lights, Montana's heart beating in their approval. Sigrid's narration swells a voiceover now. This Thanksgiving, I got my dad back and he found himself. The violin fades, leaves falling outside, stars bright above. Share your reunion story, she urges, her voice carrying beyond the tent, a call to others carrying their own regrets. Eldrick holds her close, the dance a promise kept at last, hope, blooming under the Montana sky. What new beginning lies ahead for us as Dad and I swayed on that Montana dance floor? The stars outside seemed to shine brighter, like they'd waited for this moment too. That Thanksgiving, I learned love doesn't need perfection, just presence, a hand held through the years of hurt. In life, if we show up even late, forgiveness can find a way. If this story touched you, share your own reunion in the comments below. Let's keep these connections alive.